Team Alpine, the best of the rest. Alpine has recently been in the news for all the wrong reasons regarding Formula 1. First, the team lost Fernando Alonso to Aston Martin and then Oscar Piastri to McLaren in rapid succession. Despite this F1 season has been a remarkable one for Team Alpine. They have made steady progress so far in 2022. Let's take a look at the progress Alpine have made this season. Stay tuned. Esteban Ocon's first ever victory and Fernando Alonso's return to the podium helped Alpine finish 5th in the standings during their debut F1 season, the same spot Renault had in the year prior to the team's rebranding. At the beginning of the 2022 F1 season, Alpine set themselves the target of finishing in the top 5 of the Constructor Championship. Speaking at the launch of the new Alpine F1 car at the start of the season, Alpine CEO Laurent Rossi expressed satisfaction at his team's performance last season and hopes it can be built on going forward. Rossi said, "The goal in 2021 was to set the foundations for this year with the new technical regulations, and we did just that. We learned throughout the entire year. We learned what worked well and what didn't, what we needed to consolidate, what we needed to improve, reinforce. We even learned how to win again. We put all of this together, we managed to score points in 20 races of 22, which is really remarkable, and we managed to retain the 5th position, which was the objective. So it was mission accomplished." Alpine F1 began this season in much the same way it finished the previous one, comfortably positioned in the middle of the table with a single-seater that is neither outstanding nor awful. Alpine car A522 has in fact looked comfortable on all the tracks that have been visited so far this season. Nevertheless, the gap between it and the top 3 teams in terms of pure performance is still rather large, and reliability has not been exemplary either, especially at the start of the season. They are currently ranked 4th in the Constructors' Championship, a position the team could reasonably hope to accomplish this year. It is heartening to see that the team has made satisfactory progress throughout this season, even with the new regulations that took effect in F1 at the start of the season. In the grand scheme, Alpine is really only treading water. After all, it finished as the best of the rest in 4th place in 2018, but it could not use that position as a springboard to target the big 3 in Formula 1 as had been hoped. However, a lot has changed in Formula 1 since then, most notably with the implementation of the cost cap and the new Concorde agreement, which has made the sport of Formula 1 significantly different, and Alpine too is evolving. Alpine's drivers have turned in outstanding performances, beginning with their impressive showings in qualifying and continuing through the races. Fernando Alonso has had an excellent performance this season. The British Grand Prix was where he had his best finish of the season, where he came in 5th place. In addition to that, he has only 2 DNFs to his name thus far this season. Alonso has accumulated 51 points so far and is presently ranked 9th in the drivers' standings. Alonso wouldn't be driving for Alpine next season because he is signed with Aston Martin on a multi-year deal from the 2023 season. What about Alpine's second driver? Esteban Ocon's performance has also been fantastic. Ocon's highest finish came in the Austrian Grand Prix, where he placed 5th overall. However, Ocon has 2 DNFs against his name. Ocon has a total of 64 points, placing him in the 8th position in the driver's standings. What has changed at Alpine? This year saw a number of changes, one of which was the appointment of Otmar Szafnauer as team principal. This year, he joined the team after having spent the previous 12 years in leadership capacities at what's now called Aston Martin. This gave him a unique view of the health of the squad and the areas in which there was room for growth. While Szafnauer has inevitably been subject to criticism from the outside, given he's been the public face of its recent driver market issues, his impact on Alpine is clear to see. He defines himself as ultra-competitive, even though his friendly attitude may give the impression that he is not. He has exerted great pressure on the crew to improve their performance in crucial areas like design and production throughput, which has been an important factor in continually bringing about useful modifications to the track. Because of this, there has been a change in the culture, which is something that key personnel such as drivers have observed. It is not a significant shift considering the Enstone team has always been powerful in that area. Nonetheless, given the magnitude of the mountain it must climb in order to reach its goals of being a regular race winner, a new impetus was required in order to move the team forward. In addition, Alpine is looking at the possibility of making improvements to its driver in-loop simulator as well as its wind tunnel facilities. These are the areas in which Alpine's current primary competitor, McLaren, is making big investments, and these are the areas in which up-and-coming competitors like Aston Martin are making gains. Since Renault got back into the racing business, a significant amount of money has been invested at Enstone, but more work still needs to be done. Additionally, there is still room for improvement in terms of reliability, and this applies to both the chassis and the engine, despite the fact that Renault Sport has made significant progress with the 2022 specification engine. This finally brought with it the switch to the split-turbo concept that was first introduced to Formula One by Mercedes in 2014, and even though it had to do so given the implementation of the engine freeze this year, there is still room for improvement in terms of reliability. Alpine has a finishing rate that is deceptively decent overall, which does not reflect concerns such as the power loss that cost Alonso a major result in Canada. Schaffnauer acknowledges that this is maybe the area in which the team has not fully realized the potential of the machinery and that it is one of the areas in which they have failed. In general, Alpine has accomplished a great deal more than expected this year. It has a good car that is widely understood and reacts as expected when enhancements are offered. Furthermore, its performance has been much more consistent than that of its major competitor, McLaren. In addition to that, the second half of the season will have other enhancements that have been planned. It also has an engine package that's probably the strongest relative to the opposition that Renault has ever produced in the 1.6-litre V6 turbo hybrid era. Off track, the team shows no signs of stopping its development and is well on its way to reaching exactly the right size in terms of both its personnel and its money for the cost cap age. It remains to be seen if that translates into longer-term progress and Alpine can finally stop bouncing off the glass ceiling at the top of F1's midfield and really can make inroads on the top three quickly enough to deliver on its 100-race plan. It's only 14 races down given that the countdown started this year. The controversy surrounding Alpine's driver lineup has been a drag on what has otherwise been a rather good year for the team. There's no doubt the team has been too casual in its approach to ensuring it had everything in place for those in the cockpit and will pay the price in 2023 as a result. However, this does not mean that the progress that has been made in other areas should be overlooked. This year, the likelihood of Alpine finishing as the best of the rest in 4th place in the Constructors' Championship has now significantly increased. It will have a difficult time competing against McLaren F1, which is currently 20 points behind it, but the adaptability of the A522 may offer it an advantage in the remaining races this season. The question that needs to be asked at this point is whether Alpine has what it takes to finally become more than just a midfield force in Formula One. What are your thoughts about Alpine's progress so far? Do you foresee them becoming a formidable competitor in Formula One in the not too distant future? Let us know in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching Epic F1 News.